Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and today we're going to be looking at a new band, a band called Witches. Now, I can't really tell you much about the band. I don't have any information on them whatsoever, except for the fact that it is a side project of one of the members of a band I checked out about 11 or 12 months ago, a band called Old Bones. About 11 or 12 months ago, I checked out an EP of theirs called Sleepwalker. In fact, I did a video on a track of theirs called Sleepwalker, and they were a very interesting band. They were a very, very good band. I can't remember what genre they defined themselves as, but it was a very unusual genre, and I honestly cannot remember what it is off the top of my head, but it was a very weird style that they defined themselves as. But I really enjoyed their music, and about maybe a week ago, maybe more, a guy called JD from Old Bones contacted me and asked me if I'd like to have a look at his new material for his band Witches, which I do believe is a solo project. I could be wrong. So he sent me the Noise demos, which is coming out on the 26th of March. Currently consists of 2 tracks, but I do believe it will be expanding over time. As I understand it, at the moment there's at least three tracks available on YouTube. There's a track called Geonosian 1. I stepped out of the earth just to look at the sun. I think that's what it's called. I might be wrong. And then there's the track we're going to be looking at today called You Guys Want to See a Dead Body, which immediately makes me think of that film with Will Wheaton in it, Stand By Me. I've never seen the film, but anyway. So yeah, I have no lyrics for this track. I have no other information on the band, so I really can't tell you that much. So yeah, we'll jump into this. I'm not even sure what style of music we're going to be listening to, but the track, like I said, is called You Guys Want to See a Dead Body. So let's have a look what we have. Oh, there you go. You guys want to see a dead body? By witches. Very, very interesting. I actually really, really like that. There's something very interesting about the style that song's been done in. It's very, very different to Old Bones. I'll say that right off the bat. It is very, very different in style. There's something very old school and almost lo-fi about it, but it's also very polished in a strange way as well. There's something very strange but very, very interesting about it, and I really, really like it. I like the style, and obviously there were vocals to it. Unfortunately, I can't tell you what the lyrics to the song are. I don't have those available to me, but I like the way it was done. Within the mix, the vocals are actually coming across quite quietly, and I've mentioned in several tracks I've checked out before, the vocals have been quiet and they've almost been drowned out by the music, but here it actually worked. It made sense in the style of the song and the style of the music. So, that's quite interesting, the way that this track has been put together, and I really like it. I like the style it's done in. It's got a very sort of old school, more sort of rock feel to it rather than metal. You still have sort of squealing guitars in the background, but everything seems sort of subdued and almost muted in a strange kind of way, but it sounds great. I really like it, and I really can't wait to hear more. Like I said, they're releasing the EP Noise demos on the 26th of March, and at the moment it only consists of about 2 tracks, I think. Geonosian 1 and this track, but I do believe it says they're going to be adding more to it, so it will be expanding over time. Excuse me. And I'll put a link to the band's Bandcamp below, so you can try and have a look at anything by them. I don't know whether you'll actually be able to listen to anything by them yet because it hasn't been released. That's a good point, but they do have 3 tracks, I think, available on YouTube, which you can listen to. There's this track, You Guys Want to See a Dead Body, Geonosian 1, and another track called I Stepped Out of the Earth Just to See the Sun. At least I think that's what it's called. So, you should go and check those out, because if they sound anything like this, they're going to be great. Like I said, I really, really like this. I really want to hear some more of the stuff. But I can't tell you anything more about the band. I can't tell you anything more about that song, except the fact that I think it sounds great. I can't tell you what the song was about. I can't tell you what the lyrics were, unfortunately. So there isn't really much else I can say other than the fact that I really liked it. So unfortunately, I'm just going to have to leave that as it is. Now, if anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you can even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support this channel, which would of course be a massive help to me, since every piece of content I create for this channel gets immediately demonetized. I make absolutely nothing from anything I create for this channel, which is a little bit frustrating. Because, I'm all for the bands getting recognition for the fact, I'm using their work. That's fair enough. I'm all for them getting recognition and whatnot for that. But the fact that I get absolutely nothing from all of the work that I put in is a little bit annoying. The bands get everything, and their music doesn't take up the whole damn video, but they get everything from it, so that's a little bit frustrating and infuriating. But, what can you do? There is an option in Patreon where you can get your suggestion jumped to the front of the list if you should so desire. There is a limit on how frequently you can do that. It's limited to once a month, and that's just to be fair to other people who suggest tracks through YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, so that they can get a chance for their tracks to get looked at. And if you do suggest a track through YouTube or Facebook or Instagram comments, do know it could take me a while to get around to your suggestion, since I do get suggested so many new tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the videos. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it should get done eventually. It just might take me a while to get around to it. Also, MetalHead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose overall goal is to put an end to hate crimes, and one of the main facets of that is hate crimes against people from the alternative community. And that's something I believe in very, very strongly, something I feel very, very passionate about, because it's something I've been having to deal with for most of my life, and it is also something that gets sort of brushed to the side and ignored and treated like it's not a big deal. You know, no one seems to care about it. It just sort of gets left by the wayside, you know, because, you know, that's not a big deal. It's no concern of ours, that sort of thing. But the thing is, it is actually a very big deal, and it's something that really needs to be addressed. Because every day, all around the world, hundreds and thousands of people from the alternative community are getting attacked just for the fact that they are part of the alternative community. And, you know, we're not just talking about names being shouted at them or getting shoulder rammed as they walk down the street. We're talking about real, violent crimes where people are getting brutally attacked and violently beaten just because of the music that they listen to and the clothing that they wear. You know, people are getting hospitalized with broken limbs and sometimes even more life-threatening injuries over something as simple as their music. And people don't care. People just sort of ignore it because, you know, it doesn't concern them. You know, it's not their problem. But, you know, something really needs to stop, because the last time anybody spoke about this on a widespread scale was 14 years ago, when Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby were violently attacked and brutally beaten. They were kicked, they were punched, they were knocked to the ground and had their heads stamped on so violently that they both ended up in comas. Now, Rob Maltby, he thankfully survived this attack. He was in a coma for around about a week, maybe a bit longer, I can't remember exactly, but he thankfully survived. Sophie Lancaster, on the other hand, she was in a coma for 13 days before she succumbed to her injuries and she died. This young woman, she was 20 years old, was beaten to death just because of her taste in music and clothing. Now, at the time, as it should have been, this was all over the news. As well it should have been. You know, and as all things do, over time, it sort of faded away as, you know, other news took its place. But that was the last time there was anything said about this sort of thing, and that was 14 years ago. But in the 14 years since that's happened, there have been several hundred, if not several thousand, similar attacks on people from the alternative community, and not a word has been said. And the main reason for that is because no one's died, and that is unacceptable. We shouldn't have to wait for someone to lose their life before this sort of thing gets spoken about. You know, every single day we hear about all these other hate crimes like sexism, racism, homophobia, transphobia, religious hatred, ableism, etc. We hear these every single day. From the most violent and heinous of these crimes, where someone is killed because of the colour of their skin, or because of their religious beliefs, or because of their sexual orientation, down to the most petty and pathetic of these crimes, where some entitled white woman is calling the police because a family of colour are having a picnic in a public space. We hear every facet of these crimes every single day on every media platform available. Yet we hear nothing about these people that are getting brutalised and beaten because of their taste in music. You know, how is that not as important as some Karen calling the police because there's a black man living on her street, you know? And, you know, these are things that have actually been reported. You know, there is a person of colour living on my street, I'm calling the police. How is someone getting brutally beaten to within an inch of their life not as important as that? I mean, yes, rampant racism is very, very bad. I'm not disputing that at all. But someone getting, you know, brutally beaten and almost murdered because of their taste in music, and this isn't deemed important enough. This isn't deemed newsworthy. This isn't deemed important enough for something to get done or said about. There's something inherently wrong with that, and it needs to be fixed. It needs to be changed. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to raise more awareness of the fact that this sort of thing is going on, and the fact that it is getting widely ignored. Because, you know, if we keep ignoring it, it's only a matter of time before what happened to Sophie Lancaster happens again, and we cannot allow that. We cannot allow what happened to Sophie Lancaster to ever happen again. It's something that never should have happened in the first place. But we most certainly cannot allow it to happen again. But if we keep ignoring it, if we keep not talking about it, if we keep not doing anything about it, you know, it's only a matter of time. And by ignoring it, by saying and doing nothing, you're letting the people committing these crimes think that, you know, they can get away with it. Thinking, you know, we can do whatever the hell we want because no one's going to do anything about it. And we can't have that. That needs to stop. That needs to change. How long is it going to take before what happens to Sophie Lancaster happens again? And when that happens, it'll be all over the news again, like what happened to Sophie Lancaster. And then it'll disappear, and then people will carry on ignoring it again. That's unacceptable. So if you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on at the moment, find out what their overall goal is, because they can explain it a hell of a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any small way, obviously don't feel obligated to do so, but if you can help them out in any small way, whether it's a small donation through their website or something as simple as one of these Sophie wristbands, maybe even one of these. They've got a whole bunch of other really cool stuff over there as well if you want to have a look. But, you know, the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we get more people talking about this, the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we may raise more awareness of the fact that this is a very real and very big problem, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. Well, I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.